Morning light, morning light over Paris. Roses open in the air. A quiet table by the river, and springtime everywhere. She sits beneath the lace white awning with a book upon her knees. Tea is cooling by the roses in the softest little breeze. The Eiffel Tower in the distance shimmers through a golden haze, and the city feels almost weightless in the hush of early day. No need to hurry, no place to run, just pages turning in the morning sun. Paris morning petals floating through the light, soft swing in the garden, everything feels right. Teacups on the table, roses by the door. Paris morning petals, let me breathe once more. Warm piano, brush drums, upright bass, light clarinet. There's strawberry cake on porcelain, a ribbon in her hair, flower shadows on the linen, and perfume in the air. She reads about another garden somewhere tender far away, but the loveliest little story is unfolding here today. No need to answer, no need to prove, just let the sunlight tell the heart to move. Paris morning petals floating through the light, soft swing in the garden, everything feels right. Teacups on the table, roses by the door. Paris morning petals, let me breathe once more. Maybe peace is not a distance, maybe joy is not a plan. Maybe beauty finds us softly when we rest where we began. A book, a cup, a quiet morning, a pink dress in the breeze, a little song from old Paris moving through the trees. Gentle swing rhythm, soft brass accents, dreamy Paris cafe atmosphere. By the Seine the water glimmers, little boats go passing slow. Petals fall like tiny wishes where the pale spring flowers grow. She closes up the book a moment just to watch the sunlight stay, and the whole world feels much kinder in a Paris morning way. No need to hurry, no place to run, just roses blooming in the morning sun. Paris morning petals floating through the light, soft swing in the garden, everything feels right. Teacups on the table, roses by the door. Paris morning petals, let me breathe once more. Paris morning petals, dancing as they fall, turning one small morning into something beautiful. Softly by the river, spring begins once more. Paris morning petals, let me breathe once more. Morning light over Paris, roses open in the air. A quiet table by the river, and springtime everywhere. Tea for Mademoiselle. stars in the sun. She takes her seat by the garden railing, where the morning leans in gold. A porcelain cup, a book half open, and a story yet untold. The city hums beyond the roses, soft as a song behind the door. But here the world is warm and quiet, and she is needing nothing more. Let the day wait, let the hours move slow. There is time enough for the heart to know. Tea for Mademoiselle in a Paris spring cafe. Soft swing on the terrace as the clouds drift away. Roses on the table, light upon her hair. Tea for Mademoiselle and a little piece to spare. A silver spoon rings like a whisper against the china, soft and bright. Strawberry cake and folded linen, everything touched by morning light. She reads a line, then looks up smiling at petals floating through the air. Some days arrive without a reason, and still they feel like answered prayers. No need to chase it, no need to explain. Joy can be simple as spring after rain. Tea for Mademoiselle in a Paris spring cafe. Soft swing on the terrace as the clouds drift away. Roses on the table, light upon her hair. Tea for Mademoiselle and a little piece to spare. Across the ocean, towers are rising, phones are ringing through the day. But for a while she leaves them waiting in a city far away. She does not need to disappear, she only needs a softer view. A quiet cup, a little music, a sky turning tender blue. Let the noise fade, let the morning stay. She can return, but not yet, not today. Tea for Mademoiselle in a Paris spring cafe. Soft swing on the terrace as the clouds drift away. Roses on the table, light upon her hair. Tea for Mademoiselle and a little piece to spare. Maybe rest is not surrender, maybe stillness is a choice. Maybe underneath the hurry there is still a gentler voice saying, breathe in the garden, let the sunlight come through. There is beauty in the moment that is waiting here for you. The Eiffel Tower in the distance shines through ribbons of the breeze. A little sign says Café de Printemps, swinging softly through the leaves. She turns the page, then lets it linger. a secret in her hands. Somewhere between tea and roses, she begins to understand. Life can be tender even when it feels fast. Not every sweet thing has to vanish so fast. Tea for Mademoiselle in a Paris spring cafe. Soft swing on the terrace as the clouds drift away. Roses on the table, light upon her hair. Tea for Mademoiselle and a little piece to spare. Tea for Mademoiselle, where the springtime petals fall. A quiet little table and no hurry at all. Pages turning slowly, music in the air. Tea for Mademoiselle and a little piece to spare. Tea for Mademoiselle by the flowers and the sun. The city keeps on moving, but her morning has begun. Roses by the Seine, softly in the morning light. She walks down to the river with a book beneath her arm. Paris waking all around her, quiet, golden, full of charm. The flower stalls are opening, their colors soft and bright, and roses lean toward the water in the early morning light. No need to hurry, no need to know where every little road is going to go. Roses by the Seine, drifting in the springtime air. Soft swing on the water, sunlight everywhere. Let the city whisper, let the morning stay. Roses by the Seine carry me away. She finds a table near the railing where the teacups shine like pearls. A little breeze turns every page as if it knows her world. The strawberry cream on porcelain, a ribbon in her hair, and somewhere in the distance an old accordion fills the air. Let the bells ring, let the boats pass by, let the day begin under a softer sky. Roses by the Seine, drifting in the springtime air. Soft swing on the water, sunlight everywhere. Let the city whisper, let the morning stay. Roses by the Seine carry me away. Coffee cooling by the screen, messages and crowded calendars and all the space between. But here the river keeps no schedule, here the flowers take their time, and every gentle note of music feels like a small forgiving sign. So she breathes in, lets the rush fall through. There is more to life than what she has to do. Roses by the Seine, drifting in the springtime air. Soft swing on the water, sunlight everywhere. Let the city whisper, let the morning stay. Roses by the Seine carry me away. grows loud and fast, and the heart becomes too tender. Maybe joy is something small, a chair, a cup of you, a rose beside the river, and a song returning to you. The Eiffel Tower glows behind her like a promise made of gold, and the story in her open book is sweet and soft and old. She reads a line about a garden, then looks up at the sky. Some dreams do not need an answer, some moments simply pass us by. Let them pass slowly, let them pass kind. Leave a little room for the heart and mind. Roses by the Seine, drifting in the springtime air. Soft swing on the water, sunlight everywhere. Let the city whisper, let the morning stay. Roses by the Seine carry me away. A boat slips under the bridges with a trail of silver light. Petals fall across the table, pink and pale and paper white. She closes up her book a moment just to listen, just to be, with tea and flowers and the river, and a softer way to see. Nothing to prove now, nothing to chase, only the morning and a little grace. Roses by the Seine, drifting in the springtime air. Soft swing on the water, sunlight everywhere. Let the city whisper, let the morning stay. Roses by the Seine carry me away. Roses by the Seine, falling where the light begins. A quiet Paris morning, and a calm that settles in. Pages turning slowly, tea beside the tray. Roses by the Seine carry me away. Roses by the Seine, softly in the morning light. The city keeps on shining, and everything feels right. A book under spring light, a quiet place to stay. She opens to a chapter where the morning starts to bloom. Golden light across the pages, roses leaning toward the room. A teacup waits beside her with a ribbon of steam, and Paris moves below her like a half-remembered dream. No need to hurry, no need to choose. The day is soft enough for a slower kind of truth. A book under spring light, pages turning slow. Soft swing in the garden where the pale pink roses grow. Let the city fade down, let the morning stay. A book under spring light carries me away. She reads about a garden on a quiet little street, where every flower has a secret and every bell rings sweet. The tablecloth is shining with shadows from the trees, and every line feels warmer in the April scented breeze. Let the clock rest, let the river shine. There is room enough for a little peace of mind. A book under spring light, pages turning slow, soft swing in the garden where the pale pink roses grow. Let the city fade down, let the morning stay. A book under spring light carries me away. Warm piano, brushed drums, a bright bass, light clarinet. Somewhere far away the day is louder, full of meetings, screens and names. But here the sunlight holds the table, and nothing asks her to explain. She has carried too many mornings, like a coat she could not take off. Now the breeze moves through the flowers, and the world is gentle enough. So she breathes in, lets the quiet begin. Not every battle is a battle to win. A book under spring light, pages turning slow, soft swing in the garden where the pale pink roses grow. Let the city fade down, let the morning stay. A book under spring light carries me away. Maybe rest is a doorway, maybe joy is a chair, a cup of tea on porcelain, and flowers in her hair. Maybe life can find her when she stops running through every list, every worry, every little thing to do. The Eiffel Tower in the distance rises soft behind the haze, and the book upon her fingers holds the sweetness of the day. She reads one line, then another, lets the silence gather near, and somewhere between the pages her own heart becomes clear. Let the words bloom, let the sunlight fall. Sometimes one quiet morning can give back it all. A book under spring light, pages turning slow, soft swing in the garden where the pale pink roses grow. Let the city fade down, let the morning stay. A book under spring light carries me away. A book under spring light, a book under spring. My table's set for one, a table set for one. Tea beside the roses and the city in the sun. Pages turning slowly, pages turning slow. Music in the air. A book under spring light finds me sitting there. A book under spring light, a quiet place to stay. Paris in the morning, and the world feels far away. Café de Printemps, the doors are open wide. The waiter lifts the shutters on a sleepy little street. Chalk dust on the menu board, fresh flowers at his feet. A bell above the doorway sings a silver morning tune, and the tables catch the sunlight, like they saved it from the moon. Here comes the city, stretching into spring. Every little window has a song to sing. Café de Printemps, pour the morning bright. Sugar on the saucer, gold in every light. Let the whole world wander, let the music play. Café de Printemps, open up the day. A woman in a pink dress chooses jasmine tea. A painter by the corner sketches what he sees. Two old friends are laughing over bread and apricot, and the street begins to blossom in a way it almost forgot. No grand occasion, no perfect plan, just a springtime morning in a small cafe in France. Café de Printemps, pour the morning bright. Sugar on the saucer, gold in every light. Let the whole world wander, let the music play. Café de Printemps, open up the day. Warm piano, brush drums, upright bass, light clarinet, soft swing feel. Someone reads the paper, someone writes a note, someone hums a melody too soft to ever quote. The baker brings the madeleine, still warm from the tray, and even busy people seem to pause along the way. Maybe the magic is simple and small, a chair in the sunshine, a clock on the wall. Café de Printemps, pour the morning bright. Sugar on the saucer, gold in every light. Let the whole world wander, let the music play. Café de Printemps, open up the day. No one here is rushing, but nothing feels delayed. The coffee keeps on dancing, the roses lean and sway. There is room for every story, there is room for every sigh. Underneath the striped umbrellas, with a blue Paris sky, a little dog is sleeping by the flower stand. A child drops a ribbon from a strawberry sticky hand. The tower in the distance doesn't need to say a word. It just shines above the rooftops like the sweetest song you've heard. Let the springtime find you where you are. You don't need to travel very far. Café de Printemps, pour the morning bright. Sugar on the saucer, gold in every light. Let the whole world wander, let the music play. Café de Printemps, open up the day. Café de Printemps, where the spring winds call. Every cup is gold and every hour feels small. Keep the doors wide open, let the music stay. Café de Printemps. flowers lean inside. Paris keeps on smiling with the doors open wide. Strawberry cake and a little swing. There's a strawberry cake on a porcelain plate with a silver fork waiting by. A little pink ribbon and a cafe tune and a blue Paris morning sky. She says she'll only take one small bite, then she laughs and takes two more, while the band in the corner plays soft and bright and the sunlight dances on the floor. A little sugar, a little spring, a little reason for the heart to sing. Strawberry cake swing, sweet on a Sunday morning. Teacups ring without a single warning. Let the roses sway, let the bluebirds sing. Life tastes better with a strawberry cake swing. The waiter brings cream in a tiny white cup and a smile like he knows the tune. There are flowers in the window and gold in the air, and the whole cafe feels like June. She taps her heel under the lace tablecloth to the brush of the snare drum sound. And every little worry that followed her here seems to melt right into the ground. A little laughter, a little light, a little sweetness makes the morning right. Strawberry cake swing, sweet on a Sunday morning. Teacups ring without a single warning. Let the roses sway, let the bluebirds sing. Life tastes better with a strawberry cake swing. Back in the city where the towers run high, she keeps her calendar clean. But here in Paris, with a fork in her hand, she forgets about the next screen. No inbox, no deadline, no subway delay, no meeting she has to lead. Just strawberries shining like little red hearts and a soft swing melody. A little pause, a little grace, a little frosting on a busy day. Strawberry cake swing, sweet on a Sunday morning. Teacups ring without a single warning. Let the roses sway, let the bluebirds sing. Life tastes better with a strawberry cake swing. Some people save their joy for later, put it high upon a shelf. But a morning this lovely should be shared with yourself. So pour the tea and pass the cream. Let the whole room gently sway. There's no better time for sweetness than a soft spring cafe day. A crumb on her sleeve and a smile on her face, a flower caught in her hair. The Eiffel Tower winks from the hazy light like it knows why she came there. She closes her book and leans back slow while the chorus comes around. And the whole little cafe from ceiling to street seems to lift an inch off the ground. A little rhythm, a little bloom, a little magic in a sunlit room. Strawberry strawberry cake swing. Strawberry cake swing, dancing through the sunlight. Every small thing feels a little more right. Let the cafe glow, let the silver spoon ring. Life tastes better with a strawberry cake swing. Strawberry cake and a little swing. A soft Paris morning and a reason to sing. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower in the soft Paris air, she found a chair near the railing where the river caught the light. A paperback open in her fingers and the city dressed in white. The tower rose beyond the rooftops like a promise made of lace. And every line she read more slowly left a little room for grace. The day was not asking for anything more than a breeze on the pages and flowers by the door. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, soft swing drifting through the hour. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, let the city move slow. Every page, every flower tells her where to go. There were taxis on the avenue and bells across the square. Someone laughed beneath an awning with a ribbon in her hair. She underlined a sentence, then forgot the reason why, when a petal crossed the table like a postcard from the sky. No need to finish, no need to keep score. Some stories are sweeter when they leave you wanting more. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, soft swing drifting through the hour. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, let the city move slow. Every page, every flower tells her where to go. Warm piano, brush drums, a bright bass, light clarinet, soft terrace ambience. Back home she knows the morning comes with headlines and alarms, with coffee in a paper cup and the whole world in her arms. But here the clock is kinder and the sky is white and blue. She remembers she is someone beyond the things she has to do. So let the minutes fall out of line, let the heart take over for a little while. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, soft swing drifting through the hour. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, let the city move slow. Every page, every flower tells her where to go. Maybe this is what she came for, not the postcards, not the view, but a quiet place to hear herself and feel the day come through. A chapter without pressure, a table set with light, a city full of strangers making everything feel right. A waiter passed with silver cups and sugared cream for two. The wind moved through the parasols the way old love songs do. She read about a garden where the roses never fade, then looked up at the tower and the shadow that it made. The world kept turning but not too fast. For once the morning felt like it could last. beside the Eiffel Tower, soft swing drifting through the hour. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, let the city move slow. Every page, every flower tells her where to go. Gentle walking bass, plan a response, soft brush swing. By the time the clouds were changing, she had read the same page twice. Not because the words were empty, but because the day was nice. There are moments made for keeping, not in pictures but in breath. A soft chair, a pink horizon, and a sweetness she had left. So she lets it find her, lets it settle in. A quiet kind of wonder underneath her skin. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, soft swing drifting through the hour. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, let the city move slow. Every page, every flower tells her where to go. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, when the late light turns to gold, she carries home the feeling like a story softly told. Tea in the sunlight, roses in bloom, a little Paris peace in a golden afternoon. Reading beside the Eiffel Tower, in the soft Paris air. The book may close at evening, but the morning stays there. Soft breeze on the terrace, moving through the day. The terrace wakes in sunlight, with roses on the rail. A napkin lifts and settles like a tiny paper sail. Her teacup catches morning in a ring of gentle gold. And every little flower has a secret to be told. Nothing needs a reason, nothing needs a name. The wind comes through softly, and nothing feels the same. Soft breeze on the terrace, take the rush away. Carry all the noise off into the blue of day. Let the white lace flutter, let the roses lean. Soft breeze on the terrace, bring me back to me. The pages turn without her, as if the book could read the story of a quiet heart, learning what it needs. Somewhere past the rooftops, a church bell sings at noon, and the city answers gently with a silver afternoon. Let the moment widen, let the sunlight stay. There is something healing in a slow and open day. Soft breeze on the terrace, take the rush away. Carry all the noise off into the blue of day. Let the white lace flutter, let the roses lean. Soft breeze on the terrace, bring me back to me. She used to move like weather, always changing, always late, running through the morning with too much on her plate. But here the wind is patient, and the river takes its time, and even all her worries seem to loosen line by line. So she lets the day breathe, lets the quiet in, lets a softer kind of morning touch her skin. Soft breeze on the terrace, take the rush away, carry all the noise off into the blue of day. Let the white lace flutter, let the roses lean. Soft breeze on the terrace, bring me back to me. Maybe peace is made of motion, not the kind that makes us run, but curtains moving slowly in the early afternoon sun. A petal crossing porcelain, a shadow on the floor, a breeze that does not ask her to become anything more. The parasol above her glows like cream against the sky, and the Eiffel Tower watches as the spring clouds wander by. She smiles at no one in particular, just because the air is sweet, and for once the world feels simple from her chair beside the street. Let the city wander, let the old songs play, let the flowers teach her how to stay. Soft breeze on the terrace, take the rush away, carry all the noise off into the blue of day. Let the white lace flutter, let the roses lean. Soft breeze on the terrace, bring me back to me. Soft breeze on the terrace, turn the hours slow, lift the weight I carry, let the springtime show. Every flower opens, every shadow gleams. Soft breeze on the terrace, bring me back to me. Soft breeze on the terrace, moving through the day. Paris keeps on blooming as the hurry fades away. La vie en rose at tea time in the spring. The afternoon turns honey gold on cups of painted white. A little rose beside the spoon catches every piece of light. She sits beneath the awning where the flowers climb and sway, and the city looks much softer than it did just yesterday. Maybe it's the sunlight, maybe it's the tea, maybe it's the quiet making room to see. La vie en rose tea time, everything glows for a while. Soft swing on the terrace, a slow and easy smile. Let the roses color what the day has been. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. There are footsteps on the sidewalk, there are voices down below, but they sound like distant music in the gentle afterglow. She stirs a little sugar till it disappears from view, and thinks about the simple things that help a heart feel new. Nothing grand or golden, nothing hard to find, just a little beauty changing her mind. La vie en rose tea time, everything glows for a while. Soft swing on the terrace, a slow and easy smile. Let the roses color what the day has been. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. She used to call it daydreaming when she needed to escape, but now she calls it breathing. Now she lets the quiet stay. The world can keep its tempo with its taxis and its screens. She has found a softer rhythm in the spaces in between. Let the hour linger, let the blue sky show. There are gentler ways for a heart to grow. La vie en rose tea time, everything glows for a while. Soft swing on the terrace, a slow and easy smile. Let the roses color what the day has been. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. Not every love is lightning, not every dream is loud. Some arrive like petals falling softly through a crowd. A cup beside the roses, a song beneath the trees, a moment that reminds her she can live with a little ease. The Eiffel Tower is blushing in the late and golden air, and the cafe lights are waking one by one with quiet care. She folds a note inside her book to read another day, a sentence for the future when the present feels too gray. Remember this table, remember this view, remember the softness that still belongs to you. La vie en rose tea time, everything glows for a while. Soft swing on the terrace, a slow and easy smile. Let the roses color what the day has been. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. La vie en rose tea time, when the evening starts to fall, every little sorrow feels a little small. Teacups on the table, roses in the wind. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. La vie en rose tea time, let the sweetness in. La vie en rose, a tea time in the spring. Paris turns to evening, and the roses softly sing. When the flowers whisper, I know the day is kind. begins to soften on the rooftops and the leaves. A petal lands beside her hand, like something she can believe. The book is nearly closing, the tea has cooled to gold, but the morning keeps on glowing in a place the heart can hold. No need to keep it forever, no need to make it stay. Some beauty comes to find us, then quietly slips away. When the flowers whisper softly in the air, I hear a little promise that peace is always there. In the hush of Paris, in the turning of the sky, when the flowers whisper, I remember how to fly. She walks beneath the branches where the pale pink blossoms fall. The city moves around her, but she does not rush at all. There are windows full of sunlight, there are footsteps on the stone, and for the first time in a long time, she feels at home alone. Let the river carry what the heart outgrew. Let the breeze come closer with something bright and new. When the flowers whisper softly in the air, I hear a little promise that peace is always there. In the hush of Paris, in the turning of the sky, when the flowers whisper, I remember how to fly. Back across the ocean, there are towers made of glass, calendars and crowded trains, and mornings moving fast. But something in her pocket is lighter than a stone, a folded little feeling she can carry on her own. Not a souvenir from somewhere, not a postcard or a view, but a softer way of moving through the things she has to do. She will answer the morning, she will open the door, but she won't forget the silence she was looking for. When the flowers whisper softly in the air, I hear a little promise that peace is always there. In the hush of Paris, in the turning of the sky, when the flowers whisper, I remember how to fly. Maybe grace is not a miracle, maybe calm is not far away, maybe it waits in small things we almost miss each day. A cup left on the table, a shadow on the wall, a flower leaning toward the light and asking nothing at all. Maybe life can be gentler even when the streets are loud. Maybe she can keep a garden somewhere underneath the crowd. The evening paints the river with a ribbon of rose and blue. The tower fades behind her like an old song passing through. She turns back for a moment at the terrace dressed in spring, and smiles as if the flowers have told her everything. Let the day close slowly, let the last notes rise. There is still a little sunlight is when the flowers whisper softly in the air. I hear a little promise that peace is always there. In the hush of Paris, in the turning of the sky, when the flowers whisper, I remember how to fly. When the flowers whisper at the closing of the day, every little worry feels a little farther away. She can face tomorrow with a quieter mind. When the flowers whisper, she knows the day was kind. When the flowers whisper under evening light, Paris turns to memory and keeps her